Hi everyone, it's Miss Judy here with our Thursday evening Art Outside the Box, and I've got a kind of a unique project for you tonight that I really enjoyed doing. I hope you do too. So this is it's a little bit of an experiment into some abstract art, and here is what I came up with. So it's a different technique of painting, and it doesn't require a lot of materials, and you never know what you're going to get with this. So it's just, it's kind of fun to experiment. I'll hold this up close. There's some really kind of interesting organic shapes in here. And if you look real close, you can find all kinds of things. This reminds me of a tree. This is like an underwater scene. So give me just a second and we will get started. Or really heavy paper, and I had some scrap cardboard, so I just cut that into 4 pieces, and these pieces are 8 by 8. I wanted to make them so I could trim them down and they would fit into my mat here. So I'd go about 8 by 8, or you can go bigger and just do 1 piece. You will need some black or dark colored paint, and also some white or light colored paint. Now, I like the look of the black and white, but you can use any colors you want to on this. The only thing you want to do is make sure that your background color is dark, and then what you're going to use with your saran wrap is light, so you've got good contrast. But any kind of colors will work. Complementary colors would be great. So let's see, some little sponge type painters you'll need. Of course, a ruler and a pencil I used when I was cutting out my cardboard, and then you'll need some cling wrap, any brand that you want. You can get this just about anywhere. That's about it. So my white paint I watered down with just plain old regular water, so you can see it's pretty watery, pretty soupy. But the black paint that I used for the background, I didn't do anything with that. And of course, I like to keep a little towel or something handy because I'm pretty famous for having paint all over me. So the first thing you want to do is take one of your squares and your black or dark colored paint and just give that one good coat. Make sure you cover the whole thing. I like to go in one direction. And this doesn't take long at all to dry. This is acrylic paint. So you can use some acrylic paint or a craft paint, anything that will cover really well. And this will be dry probably in about 5 minutes or less. So get these edges here. And I'll set this aside, and then I have some that I painted a little bit earlier so they would be dry for us to work on. All right, so I'm going to tear off a piece of my cling wrap. You don't need too much. And then, move this out of the way for now. I'm simply going to, and there's a lot of different techniques you can use on this, depending on the effect that you want. You can cover the whole thing. You can cover parts of it. You can just drop some on there. But we'll start out like this, and we're gonna pretty much cover this whole thing up. You wanna work kind of quickly. So that's good. Now you wanna make sure that this paint is wet when you go to do the second step. So like I said, have this ready, and all you're gonna do is lay it down on top of there, take your hands and start kind of smudging it. So you get all these wrinkles in the plastic. That's what's gonna make your pattern. And if you wanna move your white paint out to the edges, you can do that by just pressing. But that looks pretty good to me. I've got a lot of pattern in here, I can see that. All right, so I'm gonna pick this up carefully and just set that aside to dry and move on to the next one. So this one, we'll try a little different technique. And I'm just going to kind of randomly put some drops of paint on here. Actually, it looks kind of cool just like that. Something about black and white art is fun. Get another piece of my rack. And we'll lay this down. You can start to see already it does kind of magic things. And I'm just going to press these in, squeeze here and there. I think if you're going to do one like I did with 4 pieces in it, it's good to have something that's pretty much fully covered and then something that has a little more of the black or the dark color showing. All right, so we'll set this one aside. We'll do another one fully covered, and this time I think I'm going to go a little bit thinner with this paint. So I'm going to spread this out. We'll see what happens here. I kind of like doing these sorts of things when you don't know what to expect. It's the element of surprise. I'll use the palm of my hand. I might get some different patterns that way. You can swirl it. Any way you manipulate it, it's going to give you a different look. All right, I'll set this one aside, and I've got one more to do. So on this one, I think I'm going to go more along this vein and not put quite so much paint on there. But I'm going to drop my paint kind of vertically. See what happens. All right, we'll see what we get on this one. There we go. Do be careful if you're working with acrylic paints. It washes off your hands, nice, but it doesn't come off your clothes quite as easily. So you'll want to wear either something old or something over your good clothes. I'm just going to swirl this around a little bit. Yeah, see how I can work this? You can almost make it whatever you want to be. All right, we're going to leave that one for now. Okay, so now is a good time to go vacuum or clean your bedroom and do the dishes and, oh, I don't know, find some good project, go outside and play for half an hour. It's a beautiful day. And let these sit, and we will be back when they dry. All right, well, I've let these sit for about 15 minutes. They're pretty dry, and even if they're not completely dry, that's okay. So you can go ahead and just kind of gently remove the saran wrap, and you'll see what you get here. It's got some neat patterns in it. Let's try this one. Oh, this has got some great stuff in it. Check that out. Looks like flowers and leaves and paisley. I think that might be one of my favorite ones today. Let's try this one. That one's kind of neat too. Almost looks like frost on a window. And I've got one more here. Yep, they're all entirely different. So it really just depends on what you do with that paint, how you kind of smash it around. But each one is different and unique. So these are not quite dry yet, but there's a lot of different things you can do with these. I'll show you once again what I did. I cut them into 4s and mounted them on a board and then matted it. But with these, I think what I'm going to do is use some black paper and mount it on that. So as soon as these finish drying up, we'll come right back and we'll finish up our project. Okay, let me show you what I came up with. I did the second one a little bit differently. I took some of my favorite parts out of these little 8-inch squares and I cut them into 3-inch squares, and I mounted them on some black paper, and then I put them inside of this mat. So this is just a standard 8x10 mat, and you can pick up inexpensive frames for these, or even Goodwill has a lot of frames you can find in standard sizes, and all you have to do is paint it, give it a fresh coat of paint, and you're going to have a very nice piece of art. So there's my other one. All right, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I encourage you to look for us on our Facebook channel and our Facebook page and our YouTube channel to see all kinds of fun stuff. And I will see you next Thursday. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.